ethics is explain to participants what they're going to be doing and that they sign off that they're okay with what you're going to do. You also have to make them aware of how their data will be stored, that they can leave whenever they want to. So they provide informed consent. They are agreeing to what's going to happen to them. And there's some really scary examples of the lack of informed consent that highlight why it's important. The Tuscany syphilis study ran from 1932 to 1972, 40 years, and it was a study on African American males in the south of the United States, in and around the Tuscany area, who had syphilis. And basically what happened is that the doctors running the study didn't treat these people. They deliberately didn't treat them to observe the progression of syphilis, to learn more about the disease. This is an example of a failed consent process, because you could imagine the participants in the study wouldn't have agreed to this if they had known what was happening. In Canada, there was the Texas vampire study in 1998. Essentially, arrhythmogenic right ventricular dysplasia is a heart disease that tends to appear in clusters, and a cluster appeared in Newfoundland and Labrador and Grand Falls. And a group of medical doctors from Baylor came up to study the cluster and study ARVD, but they didn't really tell people what they were doing. They showed up on the scene, and a lot of the people that were in the study and lived in the area said that their informed consent was broken because they didn't really know what was going on, and they felt like they were being forced into providing information that they really didn't want to share. There's the Facebook mood study, which occurred in 2015. It's become apparent that Facebook basically manipulated the content that close to 700,000 users saw to see if it could change their moods. Now, no consent was obtained at all. Facebook just started doing this to see how people would react if sad content was put forth or happy content. And who knows what the outcome of that was. If you make people sad, bad things can happen. These are all examples of a lack of informed consent.